Hello beautiful freaks and welcome to my home. It's a little bit of a different setup because I have been really ill. I think most of you know that anyway. I'm still ill, but I am feeling a little bit better. So I'm just filming a couple of things really quickly because I am actually going to stay at my sister's for a little while. Because they don't really like me being completely by myself. Everybody else has like got people with them, whereas I literally live by myself. So they've asked me to go and stay with them and help her look after my niece and stuff now that I'm a bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously everybody's been self-isolating. I hope you have, because you need to. I have been. I've gone well over the time frame that they tell you to self-isolate, to be fair, but I just wanted to be better safe than sorry. So anyway, this video is going to be about my piercings, because I think the last video that I uploaded will probably be about my tattoos. I think that was the last video that I recorded. I don't know, I literally uploaded it really late last night when I'm filming this, so I'm pretty sure it was that one that I uploaded, because I think I scrapped my other video. But this one's going to be about my piercings as like a follow-on, because that's another one that I always get asked about quite a lot. So my first piercing that I ever got was, well, at the very start was when I was a baby. My mum took me to get my ears pierced. This was mainly because when I was really little I had quite short hair, and my dad used to always lie, because this is the type of person he was. He used to lie and say that I was a little boy, and it used to really annoy my mum, so she just deliberately got my ears pierced as if to say, like, she's a girl, stop it. So that kind of was to get at him, I think, a little bit, but also because, you know, they're cute. I didn't mind. I don't remember it. I don't really see a problem with it, as long as it doesn't distress the child too much, like, whatever. But if you can let them make their own decision, that's probably better, but whatever. Like I say, I don't remember it, so no harm, no foul. And when I got a little bit older, I was about, I think I must have been about 14 years old. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was 14. My mum took me to get my nose pierced. Now, back then, they used to pierce it with a gun, which I do not recommend if you go anywhere. I'm surprised, actually, because when I was in town a little while ago, I noticed that Claire's Accessories are still piercing with a gun. I didn't think they were legal anymore, because they aren't great. They cause blunt force trauma to your skin. So it's harder for it to heal, because you're not making a hole, you're literally pushing the skin out of the way, which can cause lumps and bumps, and it's just awful. I don't really understand why they still do it. Whereas with a needle, you're cutting away the flesh. It is cleaner, it's easier, it's less traumatic for the skin. I don't understand why they still do it with a gun. But anyway, back then that was all that was really available. So, because I think when I was younger there was only one tattoo and piercing place, and obviously they had age restrictions anyway, as most tattoo and piercing places do, because they sold some unsavoury things out in the back. Is the best way I can describe that. So obviously I couldn't go there, so we went to, I think it was on the market they were doing it, and as long as you had your parent with you, you could get it done. So my mum took me. I think she got hers redone as well, because she's had her nose done quite a few times, and my sister, I think, already had hers done, so we went and got it done. School kicked off about it, obviously, because you're not supposed to have your nose pierced, you're not supposed to have anything like that back then. And I still remember to this day them calling me and my mum into the school to have a word with us about the fact that I had my nose pierced, and they didn't like it. And my mum just literally walked through the door, and as soon as she saw my mum, she was like, oh, because my mum's got piercings too. So my mum just said, it doesn't affect her learning, I paid for it, I'm happy for her to have it, what is your problem? And they couldn't really do anything. So they did kick off at me a couple of times, but like I say, they can't really do anything about it. It's just a piercing, like, get over it, it doesn't matter. It's a bit different with tattoos, because obviously they're on you for life, whereas a piercing you can take out. I mean, they do sometimes leave scarring, but it's not that noticeable, it doesn't really matter. So I don't really get what the big deal is about people turning up to school with piercings or whatever, or piercings in general. But yeah, so that was the first proper one that I remember getting done, was having my nose pierced. And then it fell out and it healed, and I left it for a really long time, and then I went back and had it redone about half a year later. God. And obviously with the gun again, and it really hurt because obviously it's scar tissue, it's gonna hurt. Plus it was a gun, not a great idea. So that really hurt. It took ages to heal, and I was a bit put off by piercings for a little while, so I just didn't bother. And then I think the next one that I got was, I think I got my ears pierced next. I think that was the next one that I got done. I can't remember, so long ago. Again, it was on a market store that did like professional piercings and stuff. I say professional, I think this is the one, again, she used a gun. And I think I was like 18 at this point. My nose ring had fallen out and I just given up with it. I didn't bother with my nose ring again after that for a really long while, because it hurt so much when I got it redone. Because they used to give you these little stupid studs, and the nose rings as well weren't great because the clasp used to come open, and it was just so easy to lose them back then. So I just left it, it just healed up. So I was like, I don't want to get my nose done, I think I'll get my ears done. And I got, I think it was this, yeah, it's this side. I got I got 4 piercings up the side of my ear on this ear, all done by a gun. So obviously the last one was a no-go. She pierced it and it really hurt, obviously, because you're not supposed to get that many in one go anyway. And yeah, because it had inflamed so much, and because it was done with a gun, the last one was just too much, so I had to take that out. It was so painful, and it just wasn't right, so I had to take that out. The other, I think the one next to it as well wasn't great. The last 2 are still there, like I can still put piercings in if I really want to in them. I don't at the moment bother with them, but they were quite painful, but like I say, they were done with a gun, so that's probably why. I'm pretty sure your ears don't normally hurt that much. And then when I was a bit older, I decided to, obviously when I was working in a tattoo and piercing shop, I was training as a tattooist, and I think first I was training as a piercer. I think that's the order it went in. So I was learning how to pierce and pierce loads of my friends and stuff, and then, you know, there's days where you get bored and you're at work and you've got all the stuff there, you can do it. So I decided to ask them to pierce my Madonna for me. Well, it was called Marilyn and Madonna, it's called different things, but anyway, it's this one here. So I decided to get this pierced. Some people don't like it, some people think it's chavvy. I think it's only chavvy if you are a chav. At the end of the day, you can have whatever piercing you want, it doesn't really matter. I really loved it. I might get it again, I haven't decided yet. But I was terrified because that was the first one that I had done with a needle. And obviously I'd pierced so many people at that point, so I was like, I know it didn't hurt, but I was still panicking because I've never had that sensation before of a needle. I've always had the gun. So I had that done. It didn't hurt at all, really. It was just like, you know, sharp pinch, makes your eyes water, which everything does. And I was really happy with it. I loved it. I had it for years, and I can't remember. Oh yeah, I had to take it out because of the work that I got into. I was working as a receptionist in a financial recruitment agency, and they really didn't like it. So I did try wearing the clear perspex things. What are they called? They sort of bend. I can't remember what they're called, but I tried wearing one of those in with just like a clear ball on the end and all sorts, and it just was not working. Like, it was awful. And then eventually I believe it misthreaded when I did put it back in when I quit my job, and I could not undo it anyway. So that kind of put me off a little bit, because obviously you have to have metal jewellery. I don't really get on with metal jewellery that much, especially like Lebret ones where they're shaped like that. Obviously there's a flat part underneath that goes inside your lip, there's a pole, and then there's the ball on the top. And I countlessly misthreaded putting them on because it's really hard to do on yourself. It's easier to do on other people because obviously you can manoeuvre them, you can see what you're doing, but on yourself it's really hard. and I'd actually misstudied it. So that kind of put me off. So when I took it out, I just left it because it's really difficult to put in sort of metal jewellery for me. And then, yeah, the next one is kind of a contradiction on that because I have got a metal earring here, but it is a BCR. It has a ball on it, as you can see probably, hopefully, if my camera will focus on it. I did that one myself. I think that was the one and only time I pierced myself. I think. I can remember. And obviously, I like to give myself a bit of a challenge, clearly. So you can imagine me trying to do this in the mirror, trying to pierce myself. I did it, I did it spot on because I was a trained piercer and everything. It didn't hurt. I think it's really cute, and I've never ever changed the jewellery in it. I don't think it's always been the same, and to be fair, I forget it's even there. It's one of the easiest ones that I've ever had. Like, it's never caused me any problems, and I always forget that it's there, always. I remember when I went to a new dentist, obviously they have to do the scanning of all your teeth, and they were like, oh, have you taken all your jewellery out? And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, no, you've still got, when they came back with the x-ray, they were like, by the way, you've still got an earring in your ear. And I was like, oh yeah. I'd completely forgotten it was there. It's that comfortable. I love it so much. I do want to get more. I probably will go in and get more. I don't have all my equipment for piercing anymore. I still have my tattoo equipment, but I don't have my piercing equipment. And then I think the next one that I got done was my nose again. This time I went to a friend of mine who I've known for years, back when I was training as well. His name's Dan. I've been talking to him for ages about getting piercings, and he is, like, I think he's probably the best piercer in my hometown. So I obviously went to him, and he always looks after me, bless him. And yeah, I decided I was going to get a dermal. I wanted to get 2 dermals. I was going to get 2 on either side. But in the end, I decided I really wanted my nose re-pierced. I was finally going to do it properly with a needle. I knew it was going to hurt, and I said that to him because he had a look for me and everything. And I explained to him that it's been pierced probably about 3 times previous with a gun. And he was like, yeah, there looks like there's a lot of scar tissue there. It's going to hurt. He was like, are you sure you want it done? I was like, yeah, I do. So bless him, he did it for me. It did hurt a lot this time, because it was so thick with scar tissue from having the gun just pushing skin out of the way every time. But he did it for me. It didn't hurt as much as I was expecting, but it did really hurt. And I got a dermal, and I'd never had a dermal before, so I was quite excited about that. Unfortunately, mine did reject quite quickly. That was because like I said, I've never had one before. They weren't really around when I was doing piercing so long ago. They weren't really heard of. They were just coming out, I think, as I stopped doing it. So I think the only experience I had with that was that my boss and my friend at the time had one in her hip, but she lost it because she'd never done it before, and I had to dig it out. It's the worst time of my life. I had to sedate the area and dig it out for her. She said she didn't feel anything. It made my stomach turn, so it put me off for quite a while. But then in the end I was like, well, it's just in my face, it doesn't really matter. So I got it done because, like I said, I do always wear something around my eyes. I was going to get tattoos done above them and have little jewels underneath, but it did reject because I didn't look after it. The person that I was seeing at the time during amorous activities caught it on his hair because he had long hair, and kind of yanked it out a little bit, so that really hurt. And I couldn't rescue it. I did try putting a band-aid on it like you're supposed to, keep it flat, but it just wasn't happening. And in the end it was just so sore, and I was like, no, I've got to take it out. So I bit the bullet and I did it myself. I should have gone in and got it taken out, but I didn't want to. I was like, no, I will not go in and sit down and be like, oops. I did not want to do that. So I did it myself. So I do have a little scar there. You can probably see it on my camera, hopefully. I don't know. Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah, I've got a little scar there. But I kind of like my little scar. It's kind of cute. Little dimple on my face. But I'm gonna get tattoos there anyway. So I was gonna get them above the dermals, but I'm probably just gonna get tattooed there anyway. Because like I said in the previous video, I want my heart and my diamond on my face as well. So it's all evened out because I've got them throughout my body. I've come very close to the camera now, sorry. Yeah, so I think that's all of the ones I've had. I'm pretty sure they're all that I've had so far. I'll insert like text if I remember any other piercings that I've had. I do want to get, I'm considering getting more all over my ears because I really like the look of having just loads of jewellery down your ears. Obviously, one thing that I will touch on that obviously doesn't technically count as a piercing is the fact that I have stretched my ears. I mean, I did say at the beginning that these were the first ones I ever got when I was a baby, and I did stupidly stretch those, which wasn't the smartest idea because obviously when you get your ears pierced when you are a toddler, your ears grow, they change shape. So this one is a little bit thinner, not like dangerously thin, but it is because you can see I've got quite a lot of skin there. This one is a little bit thinner than this one. You probably can't even tell, to be fair. But that's because this one was slightly higher up. No, this was slightly lower down. This one was slightly higher up. And I decided to stretch them. I stretched them years ago when I was still training. I stretched them up to an 8mm. And then I didn't want to go past 10 because obviously they say if you go past 10, like, it's really hard to go back. They don't ever sit right, that kind of thing. So it kind of put me off. And then I did take them out eventually and leave them for a really long time and just started wearing normal earrings again. And then probably about 4 years ago. I think 4 years ago, I just randomly decided to stretch them back up again. I got to 8mm again because obviously I had the stretching equipment because you're supposed to do it very slowly. Don't do it quickly unless you want your ears to look like cats' bums when you take them out. So I stretched them up to 8 and then I just decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to keep going with them. So I went up, I think they're at 12 now. I'm not going to go any bigger, to be honest. I don't think. If I do, it'll be very little, probably up to 14 maximum, because I've got really tiny ears and I just don't think I would suit it. Like, I've obviously still got quite a lot of room and everything, but I don't think I'd suit it. I just kind of like having little ones, to be honest. And I also can't wear most of the jewellery in my ears. I do have allergic reactions. That's why I'm surprised this one's lasted for quite a while. Like, it's been in there for years now and I've not had any issues with it. But for some reason, these always react to stuff. So do these ones. That's why I haven't got anything in them at the moment. Most jewellery, most metal. I don't really like metal tunnels in my ears. I don't know. I don't really get how most people can have them because metal ones, for some reason, I don't know how many of you guys have stretched ears, but metal ones tend to stink, in my opinion. They don't smell too nice. And I like to be able to lay, I do sleep on my side because of my chest. I can't sleep on my back and I can't sleep on my front very comfortably, so I like to sleep on my side. So I went for the squishy silicone and they've been fine. Like, I've had no problems with them whatsoever. It's the only thing I can have in my ears really where they don't react. So I'm quite happy with these. I get them on eBay quite a lot. But yeah, they're really comfortable. You can lay on them. They just squish with your ear. And they're cheap and cheerful. And yeah, I don't know, I just prefer it. They don't smell. I can take them out. I can clean them whenever I want to. And yeah, so you see they're really easy to get in and out. Like, just straight out. And you just squish them and just pop them back in. And it's back in. So yeah, I do recommend the squishy ones if you're a bit worried about sort of laying on them and the smell if you're a girl, you know, it's not great. And I clean them all the time. Like, I'm really funny about that. Like, I have to I have to clean my ears. I'm quite a ridiculously overly probably clean person where I clean my ears out, I clean like these, like I brush my teeth too much, put deodorant on too much, like I just like to be clean. So these get cleaned quite a lot, and obviously with the metal and the irritation it was just too much, so these are so much better. I definitely recommend these. You can soak them for as long as you like, you can scrub them, you can do whatever you want, and they're still going to retain their shape. You can get some cool ones, but I just prefer these. Sometimes I'll put my hoops through them, which means I can actually wear earrings because they're not touching my skin, they're going through my tunnel, so I prefer them. I am planning on getting more piercings, like I say, up my ears. I'm probably, I can't decide whether I want to get my septum pierced because a lot of people have got it, or whether I want to get the Medusa. That was one of the first piercings I ever did, was on my best friend at the time. She wanted a Medusa and she's still got it to this day, and that was like well over 10 years ago. So I don't know, I think I might get that done instead, because I feel like if I get a septum ring I'm probably going to knock it too much. Like I knock my other ones way too much that I put in, so I'm probably going to knock it. Plus I've got a really weird nose, I can't decide whether it's too small for my face. But yeah, I don't know. I might get this side re-pierced as well, so I've got both sides done. I don't know, I haven't decided. I do want to get quite a few more. But yeah, that's all my piercings. Sorry that it's a bit of a slapdash video in my living room, but like I say, I am moving all my stuff because I don't know how long I'm going to be there for, because I think they are going to lock down the roads soon in this scary time. So, I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to stay there for. I might get homesick and want to come back pretty straight away, but I'm going to try. Like, I do quite like my privacy and being on my own. I'm used to it now, but I'm going to try and move back in with her for a little while, my sister. And I'm looking forward to seeing my niece. So yeah, I hope you guys are keeping as well as you can be. Don't go out, because even if you don't get ill, you could be a carrier. You could get other people ill. Like me, I have been quite ill. I don't think I've had that. I hope I haven't had that. But I have been extremely ill to the point where I thought I was going to have to go into hospital because I have low immunity. So, you know, you look at people and you think, oh, they're young and healthy, but you don't know, because mine was to do with my spleen, which most people don't even know what a spleen is and what it does. So you have no idea what's going on in your body. Your liver could be down, your spleen could be down, it could be anything. And you could be struck down with it and be in hospital fighting for your life. So just please think about that when you're going out and about, especially if you've got kids and older people in your life. But you're not invincible, no one's invincible. So yeah, just be careful. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because I don't want to be a moaning Minnie. But yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, whatever. I don't really pay attention to all of that, but apparently YouTube does. You can leave me comments. I do tend to reply to comments here. Subscribe, obviously, because then you'll know when I make a new video, because with alternative people and tattoos and stuff like that, YouTube doesn't tend to share them. They don't see them as family friendly, which is not fine, but whatever. So yeah, subscribe so you actually know when I make a new video, so I don't have to annoy you by posting it every 2 seconds, because I hate doing that. And I'll see you guys next time.